Hello everyone and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a home gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B, and I am out direct sowing some cut flowers today. But right now it is also the eclipse, which is really cool. Let me show you. So first I'll step through my varieties. I have this white Finch OrLaya. I have never grown this and I'm really excited to. It's a great white flower filler. Next we have Love in a Mist, and I also have never grown this, but it is recommended to direct sow it. Next we have Larkspur, which I also have never grown, and this I have seen that it readily self-sows itself, which is both a blessing and a curse. So if you are not looking forward to picking little seedlings out in the summer or in the next spring, maybe not grow this one. And then we have Bachelor button, which I've never direct sown this. I've had great luck winter sowing this, and I do have a few started that way already. Persian cress, I grew this inside last year and it was like very unhappy. So I'm hoping that direct sowing it will be much better for us this year. I have black tip wheat, which is ornamental grass, and I'm hoping to be able to incorporate some of that into my fall bouquets. I have green gold blue plurum. Gosh, that's a hard one to say. So this one is a new one for me too, and it's a really nice filler for bouquets. And sweet peas, which I grew these last year. These are seed saved, and I started them inside, which I'm also going to do. I also winter sowed them, and they all rotted. So we will see if direct sowing works for me or not. The first one here that I am going to sow is the green gold Buplurum. I cannot say that. Buplurum, I think, is the correct way to say it. Lord help me. So these will grow to be 24 to 36 inches tall. They are an annual. They are an excellent cut or dried flower, mostly used as bouquet filler. So these are mostly just green. Even the blooms are green, and they're just tiny little guys. There will be germination in 14 to 21 days, and that is required to be at 55 to 60 degrees, which is probably why it does best direct sown, because outdoors is much easier to get those temperatures. The spacing says to go 10 inches apart, and that staking may be necessary in windy conditions. So I am planting them here about 6 inches apart. So that might be a little tight. I guess we'll find out this year, as this is my first year growing it. Hope you love my shoes. Don't forget to mark your seedlings, especially when you're direct sowing, because you don't know where you put them unless you mark them. So here I am going to leave some space before I plant the next variety. And that is because I'm going to do some succession planting on these. So I'm going to wait a few weeks and I'm going to direct sow some more. The next one up here is the Persian cress, and this is the one that I started from seed indoors and grew on as seedlings last year. That just really didn't work out. They were floppy. They were super unhappy. They did produce nicely once they got out here, but I feel like starting them inside set them back. So hopefully starting them out here will be a positive move for them this year. So these grow to be 36 to 40 inches tall. So they are really big plants. But the spacing is only 2 to 6 inches apart. So I am planting mine about 3 inches apart because my emitters are about 6 inches apart here. So that's kind of how I was measuring planting these. And they just need a little bit of cover, as well as the blue plurum was the same way. And thin them once the leaves appear if you plant more than one in a hole. So these are great green leaves. and the stems do produce little tiny white flowers, which were adorable. So they also do produce more seeds, so you could leave one plant to produce seed for you for many years to come. And germination is only 2 to 5 days in that 55 to 65 degree range. So we may see those within the week starting to poke up. So we will see how that goes. And I'm also leaving some space at the back here so that I can do another succession of this. I will probably do quite a few more of this because they kind of hit their peak and are fizzle out really quick. Last year, that's what happened to me. So I only had them for like 2 weeks. Next up is the blacktip wheat ornamental grasses, and these grow 24 to 36 inches tall. They are an annual, and the flower spikes are 6 to 10 inches tall. So those will look really cool. I'm very excited to grow these this year. They make an excellent cut and dried flower, and you can plant them as like a mixed grass planting as well. Plant them right into your landscaping if you would like to. The direct seeding is recommended for these, and it says to plant them about 4 weeks before your last frost. And I'm planting these about 1/4 of an inch deep again, and these get planted about 1 to 2 inches apart. So it says that if you're doing a lot at a time, you can also broadcast sow them or drill them in with a grain drill. So the germination is 5 to 10 days on these at 60 to 70 degrees. So these may be sitting a little bit longer than the rest of them here. Next up are my seed saved sweet peas, and these I'm going to plant about 1 inch apart. Peas in general don't have a big root system, so they can be planted pretty close together. I also don't have a lot of faith that these are even going to germinate, so I'm not too concerned with getting it too exact here. This is at the front of my cattle panel trellis, and I just think it would look gorgeous to have flowers vining up the side of these, and it would also make it easy to cut them as well. Now we're out in the median garden, and my crocus lawn is just so adorable. These flowers have been going for like a month already. The purple ones just started showing up though, so I thought that was very exciting. But over here we're gonna plant Bachelor button, larkspur, OrLaya, and love in a mist. First up we have the white Finch OrLaya, and these will grow to be 24 to 36 inches tall. They are an annual flower. They are great for the back of the bed and the borders, which is what I'm using them for. I'm actually planting them around a white garden phlox that I had planted last year that will hopefully come back alive. In here I'm kind of sorting through this lamium that I had planted, which I think I'm going to move around this year. It's a gorgeous plant, but I expanded this area and just the layout is kind of goofy right now, and I'm trying to sort through everything. So that's why we're like planting them in plants here. Just not my best choice. I should have moved that stuff first, but you got to get stuff planted. So you can make successive sowings of these every 2 weeks for a continuous summer harvest. I may or may not do that. I haven't decided yet. So you can sow these in rows. Just cover the seeds lightly in early spring here after danger of heavy frost has passed, which I think we are, but you never know. We live in Wisconsin. We can have heavy frost next week, even though it's been, the next 10 days are gorgeous. So these prefer a spacing of 9 to 12 inches apart, and they do need sun and a well-drained soil, which we have we have sand for soil, which is excessively draining. So they should be good for that. These little plants here that you see on the bottom right are actually yarrow that I planted the seedlings out last fall, and they overwintered beautifully. So those have gotten a head start and are well established here. They will get kind of spread out throughout the garden, coming up here once they're ready to get transplanted. But I was really excited to see that had worked. I did the same thing with daisies, but those did not survive, but they were kind of in the path that the dogs kept taking, so they were definitely getting trampled, which is really unfortunate because this is a great way to get a head start on your seedlings. So next up we have Bachelor buttons, and this is the blue variety that I'm growing here. It does come in a couple different colors. So it does say to direct sow it after last frost, but these are really cold hardy plants. So that's why they're getting planted out now here in April. So we want to plant these about 12 inches apart, but I did have them about 7 inches apart in my cut flower garden, and they did just fine. Typically on cut flowers, the closer you plant them together, the taller and more spindly they are, which is what you want for cut flowers. So we will expect these to germinate in about 7 to 14 days once the temperature gets to 60 to 65 degrees. The larkspur is up next, and I would like a drift of this in this area, but I don't really have it set up for success for that right now, so I'm hoping that I can transplant these seedlings once they pop up. So these are a 3 to 5 foot tall annual, and they will readily self-seed if you let them go to seed, but they are an excellent cut flower, and that's what I'm hoping to use them for. So the mix that I have is light blue, dark blue, pinks, lilac, salmon, and white. So I'm very excited for these. I'm just going to kind of broadcast them and then lightly cover them with some soil, and we'll see if it works out. I'm hoping that this is gonna lead to success for a nice little patch of these in the future here. And we are on our last one already. So this is the Persian Jewel mix Love in a Mist, and this one I'm very excited for. It is a really hardy plant cold wise, and it has like thread like leaves. It just has like a really like fuzzy quality to it, which is very charming. So they will be about a foot and a half tall, similar to the larkspur, I guess. They are also excellent cut flowers, so they can either be used as flowers or their seed heads are absolutely gorgeous. You can also use them for dried flowers, and this mix has blue, white, rose, red, and violet colors in them. So I just did a broadcast, and now I'm kind of lightly covering them. I'm hoping that works well for these. I guess we'll see, but I'm planning on doing the same thing with these, is that I'm going to move them around once they germinate, and hopefully they're okay with that. But I guess it will be lessons learned for the new varieties this year, and it's always fun to try new things.
And I've got everything planted for today. So you can see that all the daffodils are coming up, and I'm really excited to see them bloom soon here. I did get everything direct sown that I wanted to, but I will be doing some succession planting of some of them. The ones that I've started first sowed in the orchard, I will definitely be doing more of those. The ones out here I don't plan on doing any more of. That's it for today. Thanks for joining, and take care.